Lucy's gut was a battlefield, her body slowly giving up, while the best doctors in Paris shrugged and my husband stood on the sidelines, whispering accusations, until a stranger's simple, humble soup dared to rewrite everything we thought we knew. Every morning, for 5 years, my daughter Lucy would wake with the same gut-wrenching plea, "Mummy, my tummy hurts." It started as the usual childhood aches, easily dismissed, but it festered, growing into a relentless agony that consumed her. One minute, she'd be rushing to the toilet 3-4 times after a meal, pale and breathless. The next, she'd be impossibly constipated, her little face turning sallow, only for the cycle to restart with debilitating diarrhea. 10 years old, and her body was failing her, eating barely anything, dwindling to a shadow of her peers. School was a cruel extension of her suffering. The constant toilet breaks, the whispers, the pointed looks. "She's going again. So weird, isn't it?" One day, Lucy asked me, her voice barely a whisper, eyes brimming, "Mummy, why am I like this? Why am I the only one?" I had no answer. My husband, David, had initially shared my worry, but time, and perhaps his inability to fix it, had curdled his concern into resentment. One evening, as Lucy cried out from another spasm, David sighed, a heavy theatrical sound that cut through me. "What exactly do you do all day at home, Emily? You have one job, one child, and you can't even manage to keep her healthy." His words were daggers. I spent every waking moment monitoring Lucy, carefully planning her meager meals, making meticulous notes for countless doctor visits, always treading lightly with every decision. Yet to him it was invisible, worthless. "I'm doing my best," I retorted, tears pricking my eyes. He scoffed, a cold, dismissive sound. "Best? Look at the results, Emily. This is your best?" That night I wept in the bathroom until my eyes were swollen. The crushing impotence of failing my child, combined with the bitter sting of my husband's contempt, left me hollow. 5 years of countless pediatric visits had yielded the same patronizing platitudes. Weak digestion. She'll probably grow out of it. Or, just observe her. It's quite common. We waited, we hoped, but Lucy never improved. The temporary relief from prescribed meds was fleeting, always reverting to the same torment, while the medical bills piled up, each digit a fresh wound in our already fractured marriage. David's favorite refrain after a hospital visit, "Are you sure she's not just like your side of the family? I was never like this as a child. What are you feeding her anyway? You're always home." The implication hung heavy in the air. It was my fault. How could I fix something the specialists couldn't? Why was I the only one carrying this burden? The weariness was bone deep. Then came the call from school. Lucy had collapsed from stomach pain, crying inconsolably. Picking her up, seeing her pale, tear-streaked face, something snapped inside me. This couldn't go on. This time, we would go to the best, a proper place. I booked an appointment at the largest hospital in Paris, the waiting list alone stretching over a month. Finally, consultation day arrived. Clutching Lucy's hand, pushing open those imposing hospital doors, I silently pleaded for a miracle. They ran every test imaginable. Bloods, stool samples, allergy panels for lactose, nuts, gluten, everything. That week, waiting for results, was an eternity spent staring at my phone. When we returned, the doctor, a man with tired eyes and a detached demeanor, delivered the blow. All results within normal range. Looks like nothing major. My patience evaporated. Nothing major? Then why is she in agony? Why is she always running to the toilet? Why can't she eat? He suggested an endoscopy. Watching my 10-year-old being prepped for such an invasive procedure was excruciating. Lucy squeezed my hand. "Mummy, I'm scared." "It's okay. It'll be over soon," I whispered, my heart aching. The endoscopy results were no different. The same vague diagnosis. Irritable bowel. "Try to reduce her stress," the doctor advised, "and perhaps a restrictive diet." He handed me a prescription for probiotics and digestive aids. My internal scream was silent but deafening. The grandest hospital in Paris, and all I got was the same worn-out advice I'd heard for 5 years. The prescription sheet was a dizzying list of increasingly expensive drugs, probiotics, antispasmodics, gut motility enhancers. The bill, a staggering sum not fully covered by insurance, made me sigh. What would David say this time? I could already hear his dismissive snort. But what choice did I have? I was a mother, ready to face his scorn for my daughter. Outside, the Parisian sky was gray, mirroring the bleakness in my heart. The celebrated French healthcare, the advanced tech, the renowned specialists, none of it had helped my child. 5 years, What had I really achieved? Mountains of medical debt, a chasm in my marriage, and Lucy, still suffering. I was adrift, desperate, with no idea where to turn. It was then that new neighbors moved in. I watched their moving truck through the window. An Asian family. Not unusual in Paris, but something about them felt different. Their belongings were peculiar. Huge cooking pots, boxes covered in unfamiliar Chinese characters. And then, the smell. The day they moved in, a warm, pure, unfamiliar aroma drifted from their home. I later learned they were from Singapore. David wrinkled his nose. "What's that smell, Emily?" "Ghastly." He clearly disapproved. Honestly, I wasn't used to it either. But it wasn't unpleasant. Instead, I found myself strangely intrigued. Different cultures, different food, of course. David's dismissiveness struck me as narrow-minded. "Oh, we'll get used to it, I suppose," I remember thinking, hoping for peace. The Tan family had 4 members, a couple our age, an elderly, Ma, grandmother, and a girl, Maylin, about Lucy's age. The parents and Maylin spoke fluent English, clearly accustomed to life abroad. Ma, though, spoke halting English, but her greetings were always confident, vibrant. "Hello!" "Good morning," she'd exclaim, her eyes clear, warm, radiating an undeniable kindness. One afternoon, Lucy came home early from school again, pale from another bout of stomach pain. As I helped her through the door, Ma was pottering in her garden. She stopped, walked slowly towards us, her face etched with concern. "Child not well, May." Her English was broken, but her sincerity was palpable. I nodded. "Yes, her tummy hurts often." Ma clucked her tongue, a sound of deep sympathy. From that day, Ma would always ask after Lucy, "How's Lucy today?" "Eat well, la." Lucy, initially shy, soon warmed to Ma, drawn to the comforting touch of her hands as she gently patted Lucy's head, stroked her cheek, or squeezed her small hand. Ma genuinely worried about Lucy. In that elderly woman, I found a warmth and concern that even David, my own husband, hadn't offered. One afternoon, Lucy, playing in the garden, suddenly clutched her stomach and doubled over. I was in the kitchen, but through the window, I saw Ma rushing to Lucy's side. She held my daughter, patting her back, murmuring soft words in what I presumed was Mandarin. Lucy stayed in her arms for a long moment. I rushed out. "Oh, I'm so sorry. Ma, for the trouble." She waved her hand. "No trouble, la. Child suffering, mama also suffering, no?" Hearing those words, a dam broke inside me. 5 years. 5 years and no one had ever said that to me. David knew Lucy's struggles, yet offered only blame, never empathy. The doctors, they rattled off test results and moved on to the next patient. No one cared about my exhaustion, my despair. But Ma, a stranger, saw me, truly saw me, and acknowledged my pain. I can't describe the comfort that gave me. That evening, Lucy murmured in bed, "Mummy." Ma's hands felt so warm. My back didn't hurt so much when she rubbed it. I held Lucy tight. It wasn't just me. Lucy felt it too. Ma's warmth. I had no idea then how profoundly that small act of kindness would change our lives. The next day, it poured. A typical gray, oppressive, Parisian rain. Lucy had been unwell all day. 3 toilet trips before noon, barely touching her lunch. Her small frame, staring out the window, looked impossibly fragile. In the late afternoon, the doorbell rang. It was Ma, holding an umbrella in one hand and a thermal flask in the other. "Here la," she said, offering the flask. "In Singapore, when children have tummy aches, we cook this for them. It's called si shen tang. My mother, my grandmother, me, we all cook this for our children. It's made with yam, lotus seeds, koi seeds, and poria mushroom. Good for the stomach, very old recipe. Lucy seems very unwell, this should help. Try it, la." She opened the lid. A clear, warm broth with white ingredients floated inside, emitting a delicate, pure fragrance. It was unfamiliar, yet strangely comforting. "What is this?" I asked. Ma smiled. "Si shen tang. Means for God soup. We always give this to children with sensitive tummies. Yam for the stomach, poria for dampness, lotus seeds, and koish for strength. No oil, very gentle, warms the body." I hesitated. It was strange, foreign. But Ma's earnest eyes were impossible to refuse. "Thank you, Ma, really." She urged Lucy to get well quickly and disappeared back into the rain. "Lucy, Ma brought something for you," I called. Lucy slowly got up from the sofa, eyeing the flask. "What is it?" The clear broth with its floating white bits looked alien. I worried. Lucy had been so hesitant to eat anything, fearing the pain. Tentatively, Lucy took a spoonful. Her expression changed. "Mummy, it's nice. So soft." And then, she kept eating. The child who'd barely touched lunch ate a small bowl. Every spoonful. "My tummy feels warm, so comfortable," she said. I can't describe my joy. I couldn't remember the last time Lucy said she felt comfortable. That night, lying beside Lucy, settling her to sleep, she whispered, "Mummy, my tummy feels much better today." "Really?" I asked, my voice catching. She nodded. "Yes, after Ama's soup." I tucked her in, watching her peaceful, sleeping face. It had been so long since I'd seen her sleep so soundly. Was it a coincidence? Or could Si Shen Tang really be this soothing? All those medicines, all those doctors, for nothing. One bowl of soup. It was hard to believe, yet I desperately wanted to. When David came home, I cautiously ventured, "Hey," Lucy said. Her tummy was much better today. She had some soup. Si Shen Tang from Ama next door. David, pulling a beer from the fridge, barely looked up. "Oh? That's good." His disinterest was palpable. "No, really good," I pressed. She said her tummy felt comfortable before bed. "It's been ages." David slumped onto the sofa, exhaling heavily. "Emily, don't get your hopes up. She has good days sometimes. What's different now?" He was right, of course. There had been good days, followed inevitably by regressions. But this felt different. The way Lucy's face lit up as she ate the soup, her tummy feels warm comment. I stopped. Explaining this feeling to David was pointless. He just accused me of overreacting. That night, for the first time in a long while, I slept soundly, dreaming of Lucy laughing, running around the garden with Maylin, her tummy no longer hurting. Waking, I silently prayed. It wasn't just a dream. I didn't know then that this small flicker of hope would ignite an even greater storm with my husband. The next morning, I warmed the leftover Si Shen Tang for Lucy. Yesterday, it had worked. Lucy, surprisingly, ate it without fuss. I watched her closely. Normally, within 30 minutes of eating, a shadow would fall across her face. But an hour passed, then 2, and Lucy was still fine. I gave her the soup again for lunch and dinner. Before bed, I asked, "How's your tummy, Lucy?" She nodded. "Still okay. 2 days. 2 consecutive days." From that moment, I knew. It was the Si Shen Tang. It was working. I gingerly approached David. "Honey, I want to learn some Singaporean cooking from Ama next door. To cook for Lucy." His face froze. "Singaporean cooking? What are you talking about?" David put down the TV remote, and the air crackled. I explained again. "Lucy's been better for 2 days, since she had the Si Shen Tang. It's not a coincidence. I want to learn more." David stood up, sighing loudly. "Emily, are you serious?" His voice rose. "You honestly think a bowl of some neighbor's soup cured her? Does that even make sense? The doctors, the specialists, couldn't fix her, but some herbal soup from next door will." His sarcasm was cutting, but I wouldn't back down. "And what exactly have your amazing hospitals done for Lucy, David? Besides expensive tests and more digestive pills, nothing's changed, has it?" His face flushed with anger. "Are you going to feed our child unverified concoctions?" "Is Ama a doctor?" he roared. Something snapped inside me. "You wanted me to do something, didn't you? So I'm doing something. Why are you nitpicking now? And what exactly have you done for Lucy all this time? Apart from sighing at the bills and blaming me, what have you contributed?" The house fell silent, heavy with unspoken accusations. David's eyes turned cold, like daggers. His voice, low and icy, cut through me. "Yes," I only sigh, "because I'm busy earning money out there. If you're so clever, why don't you go earn? Sitting at home all day? Can't even look after one child? And you dare to raise your voice?" Those words, like a poisoned blade, plunged deep. I couldn't speak, couldn't argue. I turned and walked away. From behind, I heard Lucy's small voice. "Mummy, why are you fighting? Is it because of me?" I turned back to see her eyes welling up. My heart shattered. No, it's not your fault." I hugged her tight, thinking, "No, I can't let her see this. Not like this." That night, I went to Lucy's room, lay beside her, staring at the ceiling, tears silently tracking down my face. Was it anger or wounded pride? "Can't even look after one child." Those words echoed. Was it true? Was I an incompetent mother? I'd been to every hospital, done everything I thought possible. Why was I the only one being blamed? I looked at Lucy's sleeping face beside me, peaceful, undisturbed. She had slept well for 2 nights since the soup. I made a decision. I didn't care what David thought, even if I had to do it secretly. If Lucy could get better, I would do anything, because I was her mother. The next day, I rang the Tan family's doorbell. Mei Lin's mother, Mei Lin, opened the door. She was around my age, radiating warmth. Ma's soup helped Lucy so much, I confessed. Can I learn some Singaporean cooking from you? Mei Lin beamed. Oh, that's wonderful. Ma was very worried about Lucy. Come in, La. From that day, I became a student in the Tan family kitchen with Ama and Mei Lin as my teachers. The first dish I learned was si shen tang, preparing the yam, lotus seeds, kwai seeds, and poria mushroom, soaking them, washing them, then simmering them slowly. It was more labor-intensive than I imagined. Got to put in heart. La. Ma advised. Take your time. Cook with care. Her words struck a chord. In our French kitchen, everything was about speed, convenience. 3 minutes in the microwave, 15 in the oven. But this was different. Ingredients soaked for hours, slow simmering, careful seasoning. At first, I wondered why it had to be so complicated. But listening to Ma, I understood. Time and care were the most important ingredients. That care infused the food, making it truly nourishing. Had I ever cooked for Lucy with such intention? The thought startled me. One by one, I learned other Singaporean dishes: yam, porridge, fragrant stir-fried kailan with a delicate hint of ginger, chewy multigrain rice. The more I learned, the more amazed I was by the Singaporean approach to food. Unlike Western cooking, it used minimal oil, light seasoning, focusing on the natural flavors of the ingredients. It was incredibly gentle, never heavy, never a burden on the stomach. Mei Lin explained that Singaporean cuisine, with its emphasis on fresh ingredients and often fermented foods, was very good for gut health. Especially herbal soups like si shen tang, they give good nutrition, she said. But Western food, so much oil, so many strong flavors, all those fried things, it can be very hard on a sensitive tummy like Lucy's. The moment she said that, it was like a punch to the gut. I'd never questioned Western food. Pizzas, burgers, cheese, fries. These were what Lucy had grown up with, what I considered normal. But they were, in fact, entirely unsuitable for her delicate system. Everything suddenly clicked into place. Slowly, I began to change Lucy's diet. Multigrain rice and si shen tang for breakfast, stir-fried kailan and omelette rolls in her lunchbox, yam dishes and steamed fish for dinner. At first, Lucy found the new food strange, but I didn't force her, letting her adjust gradually. Mei Lin, the Tan's daughter, was a huge help. Lucy, look, I eat so much, that's why I'm strong. You eat well, you also get strong. Children are like that. Friends have more influence than mothers. The changes were remarkable. Lucy's toilet trips significantly reduced, from 5 or 6 times a day to just once or twice. Her face, once pale and drawn, began to regain its natural color, a spark of life returning to her eyes. After just 1 month, Lucy was a completely different child. Do you know what the first thing she said when she opened her eyes in the morning used to be? "Mummy, my tummy hurts." That phrase, a daily torture, simply vanished. The school calls stopped too. Before, I'd get at least 1 or 2 calls a week. "Lucy's tummy hurts, please come pick her up." Each ring of the phone made my heart sink. Now, nothing. The constant dread that had haunted me for years was gone. The relief was immeasurable, beyond words. We had finally reclaimed our normal lives. Lucy began to eat with gusto. Before, she'd hesitate, spoon poised, afraid that any food would trigger another painful episode. Now, she'd finish a bowl of rice in a flash, even holding out her bowl for more. Seeing that, I almost cried. Most astonishingly, Lucy gained 1.4 kilograms in a month. Her sunken cheeks filled out. It felt like a dream, watching her transform. But the most important change was her smile. A genuine, unrestrained smile. A smile free from the worry of her stomach, of the toilet. I hadn't seen that smile in so long. It felt like my daughter had returned to me. David noticed Lucy's change too. One evening, he quietly watched Lucy and Mei Lin playing happily in the garden. Finally, he spoke, his voice low. "Lucy, she seems much better." His tone was grudging, an admission he didn't want to make, but faced with his healthy daughter, he couldn't deny it. He wouldn't meet my gaze, but his voice held a strange tremor. I said nothing, just looked out the window. Lucy's laughter was enough. At that moment, watching her, I knew this miracle, this happiness, was just the beginning. 3 months flew by. Lucy was an entirely new child. The little girl who cried about stomachaches every morning now woke up cheerful and energetic. No more early dismissals from school. Her relationship with her friends had transformed. The child once teased for her frequent toilet breaks was now lively and outgoing. Her teacher called, "Lucy is so bright these days. What happened?" I just smiled. "We changed her diet, that's all." That night, David, sitting across from me at the dinner table, did something unexpected. "Shall we eat out tonight?" A rare suggestion from him. Usually I was the one suggesting it, reading his mood. "Where would you like to go?" I asked. David hesitated. "How about a Singaporean restaurant? Lucy seems to really enjoy the food." I stared at him, dumbfounded. David averted his gaze, nervously rubbing his cheek. After a long pause, he finally, heavily, spoke the words I'd longed to hear. "Lucy is really, truly better. I was wrong, Emily. I'm so sorry." His deep, sincere apology, full of regret. His stubborn heart had slowly crumbled before Lucy's laughter. Hearing him say those words, the accumulated weight of years melted away. I just nodded, unable to speak. That night, our family had its first dinner out at a Singaporean restaurant. Lucy eagerly scanned the menu. "Mummy, I want si shentang. And chicken rice." Maylin says, "The char kway teow is good. Can we get that too?" David awkwardly picked up his chopsticks. Lucy, giggling, showed him, "Papa, you hold them like this." David tried to mimic her, eventually giving up and asking for a fork. David and I laughed, a genuine, shared laughter. I don't know how long it had been since we'd laughed together as a family. "On the drive home," David murmured. "Thank you, Emily. Thank you for not giving up." I looked out the window. The Parisian night sky was clear, dotted with stars, a rare sight in this often rainy city. That sky, so bright, so clear. And I didn't know then that our story would soon become a beacon of hope for so many others. One night, after Lucy was asleep, I opened my social media, compelled to share our journey. 5 years of agony, dozens of hospital visits, the clashes with my husband, and how one bowl of si shentang from a Singaporean ama next door had changed everything. I posted it and went to sleep. The next morning, my phone was buzzing with notifications. Overnight, my post had been shared thousands of times. The comments were endless. "My son is like this. My daughter too. Please tell me the recipe." So many parents, suffering the same torment. I was stunned. I started replying, one by one. A week later, an unknown number called. It was a Parisian news channel, wanting to interview us, to tell Lucy's story. I hesitated. Being on camera felt daunting. But then, a thought struck me. If our story could give hope to just one person, it was worth it. On the day of the interview, the reporter came to our house. Lucy, myself, and Amma from next door all sat in our living room. Amma, seeing the large camera, just smiled shyly. When the reporter asked her questions, Amma waved her hand. "Ayo, what's so special? It's just ordinary food we Singaporeans eat. It's been passed down for generations. Amma cooked it for my mother cooked it for me, and I cook it for my daughter, La." Ma's simple words were infused with years of wisdom and warm emotion, revealing the quiet power behind Singaporean cuisine. The news report aired, and the reaction was incredible. Parisian family solves child's gut issues with traditional Singaporean remedies, read the sensational headline, but the content was true. From that day, Parisian Asian supermarkets were flooded with people searching for yam and other ingredients. Parents with similar worries asked for Ama's si shentang recipe, shared thousands of times. Ama, looking bewildered, asked, "Am I famous now? It's just soup." I laughed. "Ama, your just soup saved my daughter." "Ah," Ma stroked Lucy's head. "As long as Lucy is healthy, that's what matters." Messages poured in from all over France. "Thank you. Our child is better too. We started eating Singaporean food, and it works. Thank you." Each message brought tears to my eyes. Our experience was becoming a beacon of hope for other families. One evening, our family and the Tan family shared a meal. The table was laden with heartfelt si shentang, fragrant chicken rice, crispy spring rolls. The delicious aromas filled our home, softening the air, making it feel warm and inviting. Lucy and Meilin sat side by side, giggling. David, still clumsy with chopsticks, diligently tried his best. Seeing David wrestle with the unfamiliar culture, Ma smiled, a benevolent gaze, like watching a mischievous grandson. "Thank you, Ma," David said. "You saved our family." Ma waved her hand. "No, la. Lucy made herself better." I looked out the window. The Parisian sky was still gray. This city, so often overcast, so often rainy. I used to hate those gloomy skies. They mirrored my heart. But now, it was different. I no longer resented the gray, because on a rainy day, Ma had knocked on our door with her, Si Shentang. For 5 years, I had searched for answers far away, in bigger hospitals, with more famous doctors, in more expensive tests, trusting the best medical systems, believing science held all the answers. But I was wrong. The answer was close by, next door. In the warm heart of a Singaporean ama, whose English was broken, and in a bowl of soup made with love. That was the answer. I didn't know then that one bowl of soup would save not only Lucy's health, but also mend the rift between David and me. Lucy came and hugged me. She looked up. "Mummy, I'm so happy." That single sentence broke me. I hugged her tight, unable to speak, silent tears tracing paths down my cheeks. But these were not tears of sorrow, but of an indescribable joy, a quiet triumph. Some might call it a coincidence, say it was just time for her to get better naturally, but I knew it wasn't. It was the wisdom of Singapore, preserved for centuries, the philosophy of healing the body through food. Ma knew this. Somewhere in Paris today, another mother is probably cooking Si Shen Tang, her heart filled with the hope for her child's health. That mother, perhaps as exhausted as I once was, perhaps searching hopelessly for answers. I pray our story becomes a small light for her. Today, I stand in my kitchen, cooking with care, just as Ma taught me. Lucy helps, eager to learn. "Mummy, I want to cook too." Seeing her like that, I think, this is happiness. It was always so simple. The answer wasn't far away, but close at hand, in a warm heart. I am grateful to Ma and to Singapore for teaching me this. And Ma sometimes says, Singapore, though a small island, has great strength. The whole world uses our semiconductors, our computer chips. TSMC, you know this company? Over 70% of the world's chips come from us. Apple, Nvidia, AMD, they all use our chips. They call us Silicon Island because our technology is so vital, the world protects us. Ma adds softly. China insists Singapore is their territory. They don't recognize us as a country. Military threats, economic pressure. But we don't give up. We show the world who we are, with our technology, our democracy, our warm hearts. Our food is part of that. Si Shen Tang, Hainanese, chicken rice, bubble tea. These are our culture. Hearing that, I thought, Singapore truly is an amazing place. Manufacturing the world's most advanced technology while never forgetting the ancient wisdom of its grandmothers passed down for millennia. Under the shadow of a giant country, it steadfastly guards its identity and shares all of it. Its warmth, its wisdom, with a stranger, a French mother and her child. The miracle of a bowl of soup. This is our family's story. I am Chloe, Lucy's mother. Maybe the greatest wisdom isn't found in grand declarations, but in the quiet, persistent pulse of life lived close to home, where a simple bowl of soup, steeped in generations, hums a forgotten truth. Sometimes, the smallest islands hold the biggest strengths, and the most profound answers are just next door.